What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Creative. Go ahead, say it with me. We are back at it again to do what? To create something great. Now, I'm not going to hold you. I'm super excited what I have planned for y'all today. We're going to be going over a little bit more in depth with regards to sub agents, right? And being able to use meta prompting in order to make the output of the agents a little bit better. So if you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. So before we get into this, I think it's best for us to understand what meta prompting is and how it works, right? So what I'm looking at right now is the prompting engineering guide, right? And I'll go ahead and drop the link in the description. So how it describes meta prompting. So meta prompting is an advanced prompting technique that focuses on the structural and the syntactical aspects of the task, right? And the task is going to be the different requirements of the different elements that we're asking the LLM or AI in order to get done, right? And problems rather than their specific contents, right? Content details. The goal with meta prompting is to construct a more abstract, structural way of interacting with large language models or LLMs and emphasizing the form and pattern of information over traditional content centric methods. Right. So after reading that, I'm still a little bit lost, a little bit fuzzy on meta prompting. So let's go ahead and jump over to ChatGPT. So meta prompting equals telling the AI how to think, not what to answer, right? So we're going to give it a structure, and that structure is going to be its steps, the format, and the rules so it can handle many problems consistently, right? So it's like giving a chef a recipe template instead of a single dish. So instead of saying, all right, bet, can you make some pasta for me? We're going to say, all right, you can pick the ingredients. We're going to go ahead and cook it, right? And then plate it for me. Now the chef can make any dish using the same structure. So what I want to do is we already have our agents, right? Our sub agents that can be able to spawn different strategies for us. So here's a few of the strategies that they were able to create, right? So we have a breakout strategy, we have a mean reversion strategy, using RSI and VWAP, and then we have the strategy, a momentum strategy. So it's all good, right? But I'm thinking that it can be a little bit better with being able to use meta prompting, right? Being able to let them know how to think. So we already have one bit of it done. Now what we're going to do is continue the session we have. It's that we already restarted, so the it's working. So what we're going to say is now, all right, before we do that, review. I'd like to complete the meta prompting in order to make sure that this system works as we expect it to. So with Claude Code, I just fed it the plans that I want in order to create this meta prompting, right? Excuse me, in order to implement the meta prompting. So what it's going to do is read the files, and then once it actually reads it, it's going to gain concept of it. Then it's going to actually proceed to implement it. So now sublimating. All right, meta prompting. So the chain is going to be, so we're going to create the meta prompting command. So the chain is going to be the bot aspect, the meta prompt, and sub prompts, infinite, and then the strategy files, right? The key insight is to build. All right, so we have the meta prompt that's in the Claude command. Let's go ahead and take a peek at that. Let me just auto you real quick. Command, meta prompt, right? Read the spec at the spec path, the current contents of the output, then generate unique sub agent prompts, right? So step one, parse the input. Step two, analyze the spec. Step three, catalog the existing output. Step four, count the unique sub agent prompts, right? And then step five, here's going to be the output. So we're giving it how to think, right? The LLM does the parsing, no retext, no hard coded field names. The spec format can change and this command still works. All right, bet. All right, so both systems are loaded, generate in prompts, the current spec. All right, beautiful. So let's proceed to run the full pipeline. Waddling. All right, it's loaded the meta prompting skill, then executing meta prompting with the specific strategy, and it's going to be using 5. All right, bet. Input, output, step 1, step 2. We already went over that. All right, beautiful. So it's all these prompt is outputting. All right, beautiful insight. The amount of prompting output is not code. These 5 prompt blocks are instructions for the sub agents. The infinite spawn will use these to deploy the 5 parallel agents, each writing its own strategy. The 5 prompts are generated. Now let's go ahead and run so we can actually use these prompts, right? All right, let's review one. So prompt 3, spec, we're going to be using Spire QQQ. Time frame 0 DTE only. Entry window is going to be 9:31 or just before noon or the afternoon session. No overnight hold. Broker is going to be alpaca. Assigned variation axes is going to be the entry signal, breakout, exit rules, right? And then sizing approach. And then so direction snapshot, uniqueness, do not generate a variant whose entry already appears in the directory snapshot above. Your output must be saved as breakout. All right, bet. Now let's proceed to run it and gauge the output. So now we're actually going to run it with these updated meta prompts, right? Such that our sub agents can create these different variant strategies. So it loaded the infinite skill, loaded successfully. Now it's going to go ahead and execute the infinite with the sub agent so it can create 5 sub agents so it can create these different strategies. All right, it's running the sub agents. Now it's generating a momentum strategy, and the strategies should be populating. Let me go get it. Strategies. Those are archived. So once we get new strategies, they're going to start populating here. So check if the strategy directory exists, right? So we have 5 agents that are working, one creating momentum, one creating a mean reversion strategy, another one a breakout, VIX-adaptive, and a squeeze strategy. Let me just go ahead and copy that, bro. So we can see the strategy starting to come out now. All right. So we have a 0 DTE opening range / prior day breakout strategy. So the entry is going to be the opening range breakout strategy or prior day high or low break. There's going to be tiered profit targets and ATR based stop. Sizing is going to be based off of VIX. All right, this is interesting. We're using SPY, the S&P 500, the top 500 companies within the New York Stock Exchange. The broker is going to be alpaca. This is the entry window that the sub agent has said. And it's saying, all right, bet for the first 15 minutes, what we want to do is set the opening range, right? Then we're going to designate the opening high and the opening low. And then whenever we have a consolidation of 3 bars, that's going to be the actual signal trigger. This is the option selection. This is the profit targets, ATR based stops, and then anti-chasing. So, I mean, this is not bad, right? I think this is a nice little start for our strategy. Let's go look at the mean reversion one. Mean reversion strategy using Bollinger Bands and then RSI confirmation. That's interesting. The periods are just a little bit too high for me, right? The standard deviation, again, just a little bit too wide. What this is saying here is that we're going to wait 20 minutes. And then waiting 20 minutes, we're going to see if there is a either, and let me just show you real quick, like an example of Bollinger Bands, right? Let me pull up SPY. Let's go to the chart. And I'm pulling this up on TradingView. And what we're looking at is the 1 minute chart, right? So what this means is that each one of these candlesticks represents 1 minute of action. The green is going to represent the bulls or the buyers, right? And the red is going to represent the sellers or the bears, right? And these 3 lines right here are the Bollinger Bands. This red line is going to be the overbought line. So whenever we see the line crashing through that, you can consider that to be your resistance. So the price, everybody is thinking, all right, FOMO is happening, right? Everybody's thinking, all right, I got to get in before I miss out. So we're seeing a lot of buying pressure also resulted in these volume bars here, right? That's what you're seeing on the bottom. Here's this volume bar, right? And then this middle line is going to be the 20-minute moving average. So what this does is takes the price for the last 20 minutes and provides a simple moving average, right? Or SMA. And then this bottom line is going to be the oversold line, right? This is where panic sets in. Whenever we see the price start touching the oversold line, people are starting to think, all right, damn, I got to get out before I start losing money, right? And what I also have here, so you can see, I also have my resistance and support line, right? So the resistance is going to be the ceiling and the support is going to be the floor. Whenever we see that the bands are both going to overbought and touching the resistance, we're knowing, all right, bet we're maybe on the brink of a pullback, right? So that's what we see here. And whenever we see it touch the oversold and resistance, maybe we're on the brink of a little rally, and that's what we see here, right? So what this strategy is saying, all right, I need 20 minutes of data. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I need 20 minutes of data, right, in order to figure out if there is a signal. I mean, in some respects, that's good, but for trading 0 DTE, that's an eternity. So that's what I'm saying. There's a couple of aspects of it that I need to change a bit, right? But I think this is good for its first iteration. RSI still staying a little bit too long. I'm okay with the thresholds. And then min-max VIX, that's okay. So this is not bad to start, but there's just a few iterations or a few changes that I would do here, right? So Claude is now verifying that, all right, bet. Let me look at this squeeze strategy. That'll be interesting. Bollinger Bands plus Keltner channel compression. I think it's just over indexing on the regular strats, and that's fine. But now we're going to, what I want to do is being able to give the sub agents now the ability to backtest, right? And that's going to be in our next video, right? So now we have our sub agents that's able to make the strategies. And also we introduce meta prompting, right? So such that it's a little bit more organized with regards to how they create the strategies, right? It's a little bit more structured, right? Instead of them telling, all right, bet I need X, I'm letting them know the steps in order to get to X. So we have the results here. I mean, it's a good place to start, but I think it could be tweaked a little bit more. And also what I want to give them the ability to do is also like back test this. So I think this is a good place to stop right now because we were able to accomplish the goal and we do have the strategies that are here. So if you want more videos like this, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. It is your boy Creative. I'll be back at it again with another episode.